and welcome to the latest edition of the Gutsy podcast, season 2. I have to tell you, who would have thought? Absolutely phenomenal, brilliant guests, more importantly, an unbelievable impact to our IBD community and beyond. If you can do me a wee favour, I don't ask for much. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Spotify. We are launching also, if not already when this goes out, so please bear with me because the timing it might be slightly off. We are going to be on Apple Podcasts as well because lots of people are asking for that, and we'll be on that very, very soon. My wee pal Katie McKittrick is setting that up in the not too distant future. So as I say, it would be amazing if you guys could subscribe to the channel. We are very excited, or I am very excited today for our guest. Hello, Catriona Mill of Inverness. The powerhouse absolute powerhouse behind Colitis with Catriona, that I know a lot of people that are watching this follow. If you don't, you should. Diagnosed with UC 5 years, mum of 2 lovely kids, and you've come all the way from Inverness to see us today. So welcome to Gutsy, Catriona. It's lovely to see you.
Thanks for having me.
How was your journey down?
Yeah, it was good. Nice smooth journey without the kids in the car. That's always a start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you a music? Are you a podcast? Are you a silent?
Oh, music, right. So loud. Yeah. 35, as loud as it can go.
So 35 is the top of the.
That's as loud as it goes.
Yeah, and I need to ask. I like my music. What were you listening to on the way down?
Oh God, what wasn't I listening to? A wee bit of Fleetwood Mac.
Oh.
Do you like Rufus Du Sol?
Oh, beautiful.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I like a bit of Rufus.
I actually like your music taste, and your wife's. I was going to actually mention that. Whenever you reshare stuff and she's put music on the Instagram, I'm like, oh, tune. And I seen you were at Lionel the other night. That looked really fun.
I was at Lionel the other night. It was, do you know what? It was brilliant. It was really good. It was really good. I'd never seen him before. My wife's seen him a couple of times. Jules has seen him a couple of times before. It was everything I thought it was going to be. The man's an icon.
Was it what you were looking for?
It didn't surprise me. It had a high level of cheesiness that I would expect.
You missed the quip there. Hello?
Oh, it's too early. He started with that.
Did he?
He started with that.
I thought he might have ended with it.
No. He ended with all night long. All night. It built it up, ended on a high. Started with that. Came out of the stage. The lights, and it was all very.
That's good.
So all very Hollywood cheesy. Yeah, that was great, and the big sing-alongs, and the man's an icon.
I like loads of music ranging. It's amazing.
Yeah. So bit of Fleetwood Mac on the way down. Rufus Du Sol.
I'm a Swiftie as well, and I hate myself for it. Yeah, absolutely love Taylor Swift. Do you like Taylor Swift?
Can I be honest with you?
No.
I don't really know much of her music. I think what I've found is there'll be a song comes on the radio and I'll sing along a wee bit.
You're totally into it.
Or I'll realise it's Taylor Swift. I think she is an absolute. But I quite admire her.
I was going to say it's actually her that I admire more.
I think the full thing I quite admire.
Yeah.
I think I love that. I love that we were lucky enough to get some of our tickets last year and prize draw them and did well for the charity.
Raging, I missed that.
But we've got, if you're an Oasis fan, we've got some of them coming up again.
I've already.
Yep. So we've got another 3 pairs that we're going to start putting out as soon as the guys as soon as Oasis start performing again.
Any tips to rig that?
There is absolutely no chance it's rigged. Ever.
Any tips to rig it, you know?
No.
I'm raging. I never got Oasis tickets.
Well, you can pick them up on the prize draw. So Taylor Swift, yeah. I like the fact that she didn't rip her punters off, because No. Bear with me. It was an expensive ticket. I know that. But she gave you value for it. It wasn't like an hour and a half show. She was like 3-4 hours or something like that.
Do you want to know how much our Taylor Swift tickets were?
Did you go?
Yes. For 2 people, £1,200.
It's no surprise.
But to be honest, I would spend that in a heartbeat again.
Yeah.
100%. It was the best night of my life, and I'm not joking.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
To be fair, it was my first concert, obviously, after being diagnosed with UC. And honestly, I couldn't believe I was even doing it. Didn't have to wear a nappy, didn't even need the toilet. Like, it was great. Absolutely great.
Do you know what? I think that's amazing, because so many of our community struggle or don't go at all to events like that, because for obviously they don't know where the toilets are. They would struggle. It might be too busy. Not the best environment, shall we say. So what I will say on that note, to give ourselves a wee bit of a plug at the Catherine McEwan Foundation, we are currently in talks with some promoters on that. So I don't know, did you see our campaign for World IBD Day?
I did, I loved it. The Portaloo at Switch, was it?
The Portaloo. So a big thanks to everybody who took part in that. Actually, we pulled in a few favours. Callum Beattie, good friend of the foundation, the Star Sailor boys, James and Ben were in it, the lovely Robin Red, and our old pal George Bowie of GBX fame were on the video. So it's not that. It's not a traditional Portaloo. It's a Portaloo. So we worked on that. We're good pals at Made Brave, who did the last year's World IBD, the QR code made it Lavy rolls. So we worked on that with them, and basically it's to highlight that the fact that a lot of our community will not go to these events and what we can do for it and stuff like that. So it was great. So you go inside. You sit down and you watch a wee film with the guys and kind of sharing it, and it's just to get people thinking about, how we can do that. So we're speaking to some promoters at the moment just about how we can get facilities in place for our community and others like ours that have got similar challenges, and it's going quite well. It will not be a quick fix, and realistically I would hope that we can start to put things in maybe either realistically next summer, because the important thing with these things is that you don't want it abused at the same time. You want the people that it's for to get that and it be right and it logistically work for the event and all these things. There's lots of things to think about.
Maybe get a wee card or something that people hold on them.
Yeah, there's
a sticker of sorts.
There'll be a way of doing it, and it will not be perfect the first time, and you'll
to be honest,
evolve.
You wouldn't have got me at a festival in a flare up back at.
Yeah.
I actually remember years ago, tea in the park. This is before I was even diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease. Used a Portaloo, no toilet roll. Had to use my socks. The socks had to come off, and that is how I wiped my arse at a festival. Using my socks.
Can I just say, you're not the only person in the world that's ever done that.
What are you meant to use? This is what I don't understand. Because there's no water to wash your hand.
I don't think hygiene's of the utmost importance or at the front of people's minds when you go to these things.
That makes it worse, because I'm like, ugh.
Anyway, Tina Park, you get me a little bit nostalgic. I did love a bit of Tina Park. Back in the day, bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring back Tea in the Park. And Rocknest, did you ever go to that?
Do you know what? I never.
Shame.
I never. But I know a lot of people that loved
Do you go to Transmit?
I have been to Transmit once.
I've not been.
It's a wee bit young for me. I'm 50 in a couple of weeks. Anyway, on that
50's the new 30, Derek. You're fine.
Yep, I agree. I keep saying that. I'm going to bring you back. We're going to talk a little bit about your story, and then what we're going to do today, which I love. You know, I'm a big fan of your social media. We're going to do something a wee bit different, and we're just going to pull up some of your social media posts, some that you know about. Because you wrote them, obviously, but maybe some that I've picked.
Brilliant! Can't wait. So
you were diagnosed 5 years ago, UC. Talk me through that. Did you have symptoms for a long time, or how did it work for you?
I think looking back, especially like now knowing what my flare looks like now, I was possibly struggling with symptoms while I was pregnant with my first daughter, but I was told that it was piles or constipation. Even though there was like blood and mucus like it's presenting for me now, I just sort of went along with that and thought that was the case. And then,
because you'd never been pregnant before.
Yeah,
so
I just thought this is just something that happens to people that are pregnant, like just get on with it. And it couldn't have been that bad for me because it wasn't really at the forefront of my mind until June 2020 or May 2020 it would have been. My daughter turned 1 and I had baked a chocolate cake because it was lockdown and you couldn't go to a supermarket to buy a cake. I had to make one, and I thought, I've just made like a really shitty cake. Like,
but that's a phrase that loads of people use.
Yeah, well, it was a chocolate cake, you know. And then I thought, I fucked this up because my partner had the shits, and so did I. But mine never went away; it just kept coming. And then,
so it's your cake's fault.
It's the cake. I thought, this is a really dodgy cake, and it wouldn't have been the first time I've given him food poisoning. So with a cake, so I just sort of got on with it. And then one day I remembered I was out from a daily walk, and I distinctly remember texting one of my best friends at the time being like, I've literally just had to run home because I've nearly shit myself. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And she was like, she just laughed. She's so whatever. Like, it was totally brushed under the carpet, didn't think anything of it. And I don't know what happened, but between that moment...
the shit of the story.
Both. Like, she just thought, shitting herself, whatever. And I didn't shit myself. I was just very close. And then over that course of 2 weeks, I had been at the doctor continuously because then blood started to present in the stool. It was like diarrhea and then the blood just didn't ever stop. It just kept coming and coming. So I went to the GP and I was put to the practice nurse, and I had explained to her that my mum has ulcerative colitis. So I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was. I always... And I've said it to my mum a million times, I hate myself for it, but I used to think my mum was just lying about it. I thought, she's at it. Yeah,
but see, the thing is, and I always say this, long may it continue, I do not have inflammatory bowel disease, but I watch my mum.
Careful what you wish for, Derek.
No, I don't wish for it at all. And touch wood and all sorts of things, and you know, I'm not even superstitious. But anyway, it's been in some way, shape or form, it's been in my life for, as I say, approaching 50 years. So I watched my mum go through that, and as much as you can sympathise, empathise, you can support, you don't know. You absolutely don't until you're there. And that's one of the things with our, and you went to one a few weeks ago, with our community days. There's a real magic happens with shared experience. A real magic. You can't put your finger on it, but it happens in those rooms it happens. So you having that experience with your mum, it's not a shock.
It's not a shock, but to be honest, my mum, she didn't hide it from us, but I didn't live. I don't know. I did live with my mum when she had it, but I don't know. I was just oblivious to it. Yeah. Like, I just knew that she had this thing called ulcerative colitis, and it was like having ulcers in her colon. But I never seen any of it, whereas my sister did. Like, my sister used to have to help her with suppositories and that, and they'll be laughing listening to me saying that. But like, my mum was really quick to get into remission. Older than you? Yeah, she is, but only by 2 years.
What's your sister's name?
Lindy.
Hi, Lindy. How you doing?
How you doing? She'll remember it more than me, but I'm just oblivious. Like, I just don't really pay attention to things like this. So I knew what it was, and then I went to the GP and I'd said, like, I am bleeding quite badly. I'm going to the toilet constantly. My mum's got colitis. My auntie has Crohn's disease. Her daughter, so my cousin, has Crohn's disease. Sorry, and my auntie has microscopic colitis. So IBD in general is prominent in my family.
Absolutely.
So she was like, okay, it probably is IBS, but, because of your family history and stuff, we'll get you down for a scope, check you for piles, blah, blah, blah. So obviously that was like the infamous finger up the arse. That's fine. No piles. Everything's fine. Sent me home to wait for my appointment. But that would have been like on the Friday. And come the Monday, I was just so ill. Like, I literally couldn't eat anything. I'm the biggest foodie I've ever met. Like, could probably out-eat you at a dinner table, and I'm not.
Big statement.
And I'm not joking.
Big statement.
I couldn't keep. Took all weekend to eat a tin of chicken soup because I felt so rough. I was like, what do people eat when they're ill? Chicken soup was one of them. So I was like, go and buy myself a tin of chicken soup.
Got it behind, but
yeah, breaded chicken. And I even went to the effort of going to M&S. I was like, I'll go and get myself some cheddar mash, and I'll get like breaded chicken. It'll just be nice. I'll just sort myself out over the weekend. It'll be fine. Couldn't eat anything. Was sitting on the toilet, doing the toilet, spewing into my bath like green bile, like really shaky, like up to like 20 times a day and night going to the toilet. And when I phoned back on Monday, I was like, the stool sample that I'm submitting you. No, so sorry, I went back to the doctor, and then she was like, right, put in a stool sample and we'll check for whatever. And then basically we'll take it from there. But when I went home to do my stool sample was literally just blood and mucus. It's actually a photo on my Instagram of it. Which sounds so bad, but it's not shit. It's literally just blood and mucus.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
So I was like, I phoned back and I was like, can I actually submit a sample when it's literally just blood? Like, how are you taking a stool if there's no stool in my sample? It's just blood. And she was like, how long has this been going on for? And I had said that I told you this on Friday sort of thing, like this is what I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
So she sent me there and then to A&E, and I arrived there, and they, again, another 2 fingers up the arse, same day. So this is now my 3rd finger up my arse, different person. And that person was like, as she put her finger up, the blood obviously came down, because when she took her hand or her finger out, her hand was covered in blood, and she was like, look, I think you've got ulcerative colitis, but we can't obviously diagnose that without a scope or whatever. And because my bloods were fine, like my CRP and stuff, they were like, you need to go home, you're not ill enough to be kept in, basically. So I got sent home, and then lo and behold, 7 days later I had to go back. Like, I literally just was in such a bad way that I couldn't physically cope with life, and I was admitted for 2 weeks. When I went back to A&E, it was the same nurse that actually like cannulated me and stuff, and she was like, I bet you didn't expect to be back here so soon. But like, I can see how much you've deteriorated. You need to be here now. And that was me for 14 days in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Diagnosed.
In Glasgow?
Yeah, I lived in Glasgow at the time.
Ah. You lived. How long? So that's 5 years ago. So how long did it take for you to get diagnosed then?
4 weeks.
That's good.
Yeah, amazing.
That's great, because we hear so many people that it takes such a long time. So that, I mean, in a good way, and for a bad thing.
I think I was really fortunate in the fact that I had that family history there. It kind of pointed in the right direction. Yeah, but it was
even sometimes it's not great. But
I think where my symptoms though come on quite aggressively. Because that's what I remember asking. I was like, how can I go from just being like a normal girl that goes to the toilet once a day, like first thing in the morning, had my set time, that was it. It was one clean turd and that was it, just done.
You're pretty regular?
Yeah, like I knew what I was doing when I was doing it. Like, go to the toilet, one wipe and you're out. Like, it was normal for me.
And one wipe?
One wipe, a clean turd.
That's impressive.
Well, that's what's annoying about it, because then it was like, how have I gone from this to 20 times a day, not being able to eat anything? Like, surely it can't be colitis. Why would it come on that quick? Like, I just couldn't fathom how I'd gone from being this normal, healthy individual to this.
But that's a question that so many ask, isn't it?
That's mad.
But like that change, boom. It's well, obviously it's a challenging thing to get around physically, but the mental aspect to that as well.
100%.
Because it's a life change.
It's a life change, and I don't want to like play my own fiddle, but I think it was really difficult for me because I had gone from just being this normal, healthy individual. And when you become a mum as well, like, that is quite a big life change. And I was very overwhelmed by that. But I think maybe looking back, having all of these health issues on top didn't help that. Yeah,
because also you kind of go into, you've got so many coping mechanisms as a human being, and you're taking it in your stride, and you're not just thinking about yourself in that situation. You're thinking about your new baby, and the baby comes the most important thing, and you're kind of almost neglecting yourself. I'll get to me. I'll get to me. And there's got to be a point where it just goes boom.
And it does, and that is so true. And I think as well, looking back, I had quite a traumatic birth with my first daughter, and we now know it was due to undiagnosed colitis, we think.
Really?
Yeah, quite a lot of complications. Like, I had really high blood pressure, I had to be induced. Like, it was just womanly chat. Like, it was just difficult anyway giving birth, but having all of these complications, like back to back, baby having to be induced, then I had to take medication for the high blood pressure. Like, it was just a traumatic birth, basically.
I bet you. One of our, you just talking about giving birth, and I'm not laughing at that at all, but we were doing a challenge a couple of weeks ago, and one of the guys that was on it was telling a story about, in fact, to tell a lie, it was at the family day, I'm sure. We launched a new programme for parents, because people forget about the parents, don't they? They forget them, because the kids have, if the kids have got inflammatory bowel disease, they're kind of 9 times out of 10 the kids are getting on with it because they don't know anything else. And the parents are going crazy, and they've got all the worry and everything else, and challenging relationships and so on and so on. So we created this programme, and I think there's 12 people can go on it, and it was one guy. Hi Martin, how you doing?
Is he the only one that turned up?
Yeah, and he went because his wife told him to.
Oh, shame, poor Martin.
No, but he was telling me the story at the weekend, and he said, he said, I made a he says, I'm in this room and I'm already nervous about the full situation. I'm in it. Then I realised I'm the only guy that's in it, and then I made this. I don't know why, and I can't remember the context. I'm sure the context. Well, whatever he shouldn't have said what he said. And he said, I made the biggest faux pas. I said that something along the lines, it was the pain was the equivalent of childbirth, and all the women just looked at him.
Oh God.
And I went, why would you say that? And he went, I know, I was nervous.
Poor man.
Poor man. But he did really well. So because you've got undiagnosed UC at this point, it's gave you loads of challenges.
Gave me loads of challenges, and I lost quite a lot of blood in that birth, and then obviously I'd been bleeding throughout the pregnancy as well, rectally, which we now know was the UC. It just meant that I felt fucked, essentially, because my hemoglobin was really low and stuff, so it was just that first year of being a mum was quite challenging anyway. And then I think looking back, I probably was at the toilet more than I was kind of thinking, because like you say, my priority was the baby. I wasn't thinking of myself.
Yeah, of course.
I have a really needy dog as well. He would have been keeping me busy. So yeah, it was a challenging adjustment because of lockdown. I had gone from being like this healthy, normal person to now being a clinically extremely vulnerable person. That was what my sort of identity was, because obviously lockdown then meant that we were shielding and things like that, and when everybody else eventually did go back to work and normality resumed, I wasn't allowed to. I was shielding for that extra 8 weeks, and then by this point I was actually pregnant with the second baby, which is funny because why did I do that while I was still struggling with colitis? I think, what an idiot. I don't regret doing it, obviously, naturally, because I love the fact that I've got both my girls, but I look back and I think, why did you do that to yourself? Like, that was like fucking punishment.
Sorry if you don't mind me asking, did you mean to do it?
Yes, this is what's worse. It was a planned pregnancy.
Really?
Yeah, because I always knew that I wanted to have another baby. Yeah. So I was worried that I was just never going to get this colitis under control, and everybody that I was speaking to was saying, because thankfully I had this like WhatsApp group, and I still absolutely adore all these people that are on it, and we eventually refined it so it was like a small group of us. And there was one guy on that was honestly the most helpful person I've ever come across. He was so reassuring. Adam, if you're watching.
So how did the WhatsApp group start? Is it your friends?
Somebody had started it on Instagram, basically, for people with inflammatory bowel disease.
All right.
So it was like started off as a really big group, and then eventually the ones that were chatting on it the most, we filtered it down to, I think there's maybe like 9 of us.
So there's people out there that have been kicked off the group.
Yes.
That are going, I don't really understand why I was kicked off of that. I like that group.
We didn't kick them off. We just went on the side of my site. Like, add the ones we actually like.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So you pulled a pure Snyder.
Pulled a pure Snyder, and obviously I was part of that orchestration to get it done. If that's even a word. I orchestrated it. I thought, right, I'm not wanting to speak to all these ones. You and you, let's do.
So
totally out of myself.
So you know, we're going to launch a helpline for those people that they've still got trauma from being kicked out.
They
of the
won't know
group.
it's me. I didn't have my Instagram page at the time. I hope they're not recognising me.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, it's not really hard to put two and two together now, you know. And
Stop throwing me under the bus, Sarah.
you threw yourself.
But we
under
could have brushed over it, and now it's really been brought to attention. Anyway, these girls were really, really helpful because they were then saying like,
and the rest of you weren't.
"You're a dick."
Sorry, can't help it.
The women on that were really helpful. Like they were saying basically like you could be waiting your whole life to get into remission if you don't feel that bad. Like just do it. So I did. And thankfully that paid off. It was fine.
But you said that why were you doing that? So did you kick her off the group for giving you the advice?
No, she was part of the group.
No, right, just make sure.
Just making sure. The other ones, they were hopeless. They wouldn't have been saying anything.
I feel a bit sorry for the rest of them, but anyway.
Shut up.
Right, anyway, we'll move on for that. We'll talk about it later.
Anyway, got pregnant. Where am I going with this? You're distracting me.
You're just saying you got pregnant again.
I think there was a reason why I was speaking about it, but I can't remember. But anyway, got pregnant again and everything was fine.
So how was the birth in comparison?
Oh, healing, life-changing. People speak about like enjoying giving birth, and I'm sure you can only put your imagination to it, but
I've never heard anybody say that.
oh no, people do. They describe it as like euphoric, like really nice.
I've only ever heard women. I'm not getting involved in it. I'm not going to say anything controversial, but I've only ever heard women saying it's quite.
I'm moaning about it. It is hard. Like, don't get me wrong. The first one, oh, honestly, that was brutal. Like, not to scaremonger anybody, but wouldn't do it again. Second one, really healing. Had a lot more control over it, and I think that helped because obviously second time round I had diagnosed IBD. So things like, and this is kind of like my first point about like systematic issues. I even think within hospitals, IBD isn't that widely understood.
Correct.
Really difficult.
I would agree.
Because I am somebody that can advocate for myself and I don't have any qualms with doing that.
Never noticed.
Shut up. But even in situations like that, like I'm vulnerable enough as it is because I'm pregnant, never mind the fact that I then have inflammatory bowel disease on top of that. So to have to voice my needs into a really busy, so the second one was born in September and that's notoriously busy for midwifery because everybody gets drunk on New Year and has babies and then they're due in September. So it is widely understood that that's a very busy time to give birth. So they were already incredibly understaffed. So when I then went in to be induced for the second time, because I needed control over the birth because I was on blood thinners because obviously of my condition I then had to have blood thinners daily, a whole host of other medication basically to keep me well whilst pregnant. It then meant that when I went to be induced it had to be controlled basically. And when you're pregnant with inflammatory bowel disease as well, because you're not always absorbing nutrients, they scan you every couple of weeks, or I was every 2 weeks to check growth of baby to make sure baby's growing. Yeah. My baby was big. They were looking for them to be small because they're not getting anything. She was too big, so it needed to come a couple of weeks early, which is really good. So you'd rather them too big than too small.
Lovely and healthy.
Lovely, healthy baby. But I'm obviously then on a board with copious of other women that need a toilet, and I'm trying to say to the midwives, I can't share a toilet with these women. Got inflammatory bowel disease. A, I don't want them not to be able to use the toilet because I'm on it, but B, I don't want the whole ward hearing me at the toilet. Like,
no.
It's not suitable, and it's actually not sanitary for the other patients either if I'm shitting blood. That got into an open wound. That's not just the woman you're compromising, it's the baby. I shouldn't have to explain that to health professionals, but I did. Yeah. And that's tricky as well, because even things like when it came to the delivery of the baby, because I was being induced, they needed constant monitoring for both me and baby, and usually you're attached to a machine, you're lying on your bed flat on the back, and I knew that didn't serve me whilst delivering the first one, so I had to ask, could I have what's it called, like the mobile monitoring basically, where it's not attached to anything, but there's one of them in the hospital apparently, so the chance of that being free when I needed it was very slim, but thankfully somebody was looking over me that day and it was free. But I had to push for it. Like I had to literally say to the midwife.
But I think one of the common things that we hear all the time is you can keep fighting your corner, be persistent, keep fighting it.
And I do that, but you end up feeling like a bitch for doing it. Like women are quite often accused of being bossy or, whatever, when really I would class it as assertive. But I always feel like a dick when I am being assertive because I'm like, you're not listening to me when I'm saying it politely, so I have to pull out my assertive voice and tell you what's happening because I'm not doing it the way that you're expecting me to.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have me on a drip because I needed the drip to obviously get... I can't be attached to a drip, attached to the wall when I have got bowel disease. I need to be able to use a toilet. Anybody should be able to access a toilet, but somebody that's struggling with urgency and frequency,
Yeah.
you can't expect them to sit attached to a drip on the wall. It's actually inhumane because you then do end up shitting yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So I spent a large amount of time on that, on the toilet, and thankfully it all worked out. Like, it was fine after sort of saying to the midwife, like, I don't really feel like I'm being listened to, blah, blah, blah. I need the drip to be portable so I can take it back and forth to the toilet, and I need the monitoring, to be wireless so that I can get back and forth to the toilet. I actually ended up spending the majority of that labouring, which is like hours and hours and hours, sat on the toilet because it was where I was most comfortable.
Fair enough. Now, I mean, things have progressed so much. I mean, I remember I've got an older brother, and by that point my mum had Crohn's for a number of years, and when she was when her pregnancy, they said, we don't think you should have the baby because there would be so many complications with her Crohn's, and thankfully she said no. Hello. But you know, things have moved on in so many ways, but there's still a challenge. Before we move on, I think you sharing that is really, really important for the community and other women with inflammatory bowel disease. But I'm not going to ask you for one bit of advice because I know you'll have more. What advice would you give to anybody who was thinking about a family that's got inflammatory bowel disease, or you know, is maybe pregnant at the moment?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be go with your gut instinct on it. Like, use your common sense. Like, I wasn't on my knees when I got pregnant with my second daughter, but I also was aware of the fact that, you know, I was young, but my partner was quite a bit older than me.
Yeah.
The timing of our pregnancies was for a reason. It suited our lifestyle sort of thing. But there's never a perfect time when you introduce a child into your family, regardless of whether you've got inflammatory bowel disease or not. And I think as long as you have open and clear communication with your doctors, usually they are quite supportive. I mean, they'll tell you how it is, but they find ways to support you. And ultimately, once you've done it, like, I'm not suggesting go and do it against doctor's advice, but once you've done it, there's not really much you can do about it without terminating it. And if you don't want to terminate it, then, you know, that is absolutely your choice, whether you do or don't. But speak up for what you need, and they are absolutely there to accommodate you. Like, I was really supported by my gastro, like, even for like worrying about post, because you're usually fine as well when you're pregnant. Some people can flare it worse, but it actually settled mine quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that before.
It's post birth. But that's where having the good communication with your clinician can really help, because we then spoke about what would happen in the instance that you would flare up post birth. And that was reassuring for me, having that control and, you know, saying things.
But I think it's like anything. If you've got good communication channels and a good understanding, then, you know, it's sometimes half the battle.
Yeah, for sure. That's my advice. Get good rapport with your clinicians.
Yeah.
Tell them what to do.
Well, is that? I don't know if that's called rapport if you tell them what to do.
No, you can say what you want to happen, and obviously then take their advice.
Okay.
Get them told.
Tilt. Okay, we're going to move on to your social media. Now, I have been a fan of your social media for a while. I think your posts are great. Your posts are very confusing me just now, because I'm looking at some of them and you've got blonde hair in them. Yeah. You definitely don't have blonde hair today.
No.
So I'm like, I'm on the right place.
On the right place.
So I think there's a lot of what could be deemed patient advocacy, and there's a lot of people online sharing their lives with inflammatory bowel disease, and I'm here for that, definitely, if it's done the right way and it's done sensibly, and people aren't telling people how to live their lives, because it's all different. Everybody's experience is different, and what works for one person won't work for another, and I think you're very good at that. When did you decide to start your page and share your journey?
This is a funny story, but it's not actually funny. I one day looked in the mirror and thought, I actually just can't keep living like this. I don't know what it was that was like the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, but something happened. And I realised that I was really mad. Like I felt really like angry that I had this disease. I felt like a little bit insane as well. Like I just felt like I was never going to be normal again, emotionally, physically, whatever. So I was mad. I felt really bad. Like I felt really ill. And then this particular day, I realised that I was sad as well. I was like, this has now got to a point where it's consuming my life.
Yeah.
And I cannot keep doing this. I wasn't at my work at the time, I don't think. I think I was still on sick leave or maternity leave, can't remember which. And I'd had enough. I thought, I cannot keep living like this. And I think this will lead us quite nicely on to, I can cope with my disease when it comes for me with frequency and urgency. Like I drink a lot of water, I'm always at the toilet doing a pee anyway. It doesn't bother me if you're going to the toilet. It's when it starts attacking your basic human needs / wants that it got to me. I was no longer able to eat in the way that I would. I was losing weight. Like people were starting to comment that I'd lost weight.
Yeah.
Always remember my sister saying to me, "Is that just shame that this disease like happened to somebody like you that, you know, is such a foodie and you're not able to eat?" Like she was like, it's quite difficult to watch that you're, you know, not scoffing basically.
Scoffing.
So I wasn't able to eat in the way that I usually would. I wasn't sleeping. Like I always remember around this time I'd got up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet and I walked headfirst into my bedroom door because I was that out of it and like fell back at such a force that like I hit my head on the floor. So I wasn't sleeping. I also had 2 young kids as well. So remember, I'm up and down with them a lot for the last, at this point, 2.5 years.
So that's how long the page has been going, about 2.5 years?
Yeah. And yeah, I just thought this is just no way to live. And I thought I need to do something about this. And I really, really did think that this would be the turning point. Because up until this point, I was terrified of stoma surgery, like absolutely terrified. Couldn't even look like at people's stories about it, things like that. And I just thought this is actually going to be my life now. And if I'm going to go down that route, I want to document it so that other people can see what that's like. Because I'm going to have to get on with it. Like I've always had that mindset of when I hit that sort of breaking point, it wasn't like, oh, I've had enough, I'm going to, you know, harm myself or, you know, end it. I've always had this sort of mentality of, well, I'm not going to end it, so I need to find a way to get on with it. And that was me sort of hitting that point with, well, this is going in this direction now, I've fought it for long enough.
So was your mindset then, right, I need to almost embrace this? And also, and by part of that embracing of, you know, the condition of and the effects and, you know, the change in the lifestyle was to share that and online with your Instagram page. Yeah,
absolutely that. And I just think, I didn't really think like, oh, I need to embrace it. Embrace is a strong word, but I thought there has to be another way. I cannot keep living like this. Like it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
I was getting to the point, and this is what's scary about it, is I was fantasizing about like getting a week in hospital just to get a break. That isn't normal. You shouldn't be feeling like that.
No.
And like every day sort of tasks building on top of me, because I always describe it like this, it's like living in a pressure cooker. Like if you think about it, it's not just, and this is where it's difficult for me to articulate what I'm dealing with, because it's not just me living with it. I have 2 young children, so at this point I really was bottom of the pecking order.
But the family gets a diagnosis.
The family gets a diagnosis, but I am at that point head of the family. Yeah, my partner was going out to work and being the breadwinner and everything like that, but it was me that was, you know, keeping everything else afloat, and I couldn't do it. Like that's when I realised this is bad, because I'm not able to do, like I couldn't even do a food shop, a basic food shop I couldn't do, because I would be shitting myself.
Yeah.
Wearing a nappy at this point, what am I now, 29, 30 this year, a 28-year-old girl or woman, whatever you're classing me as, can't even do a food shop. 27 it would have been. I am normal, I shouldn't be. And my partner's like, it was funny, like he used to call me Pampers and I laughed about it, like, you know, I've got humour, I can joke, but it's when you're then realising like this actually isn't funny, like. Yeah,
but I think you start to live with that normality, you know, and just kind of touching on the, you know, what we went through as a family, what the journey that we as a family went through was our normal. But then when you take that step back, you go, fuck all normal about that. It's, you know, but you adapt and you fit into this. I don't know. I don't even actually know what normal is.
I know, normal's,
you know, where people sit with that. But, you know, somebody looking in from an outsider looking into your situation, you'd be like, whoa, that's nuts. That's not right. But you're going, well, that's every day. I'm just getting on with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't until other people started to put their tuppence worth in. Like, I always remember my auntie.
But that can be quite dangerous as well.
Yeah, because I was like, because I used to wear adult nappies, because in my head, a lot of people with inflammatory bowel disease is it agoraphobia, where you're scared to leave your house? And that's what it's called.
Yeah, I think so.
Basically, you don't want to leave your house because you don't know where a toilet is. I didn't have that luxury of that choice. I had two kids that had to go out. They didn't ask for a mum that was disabled, essentially. Let's call it what it is. And I just always had it in my head that I had to keep going for them. And that was a blessing. It is a blessing, because it meant I had something to get up for every day.
Yeah.
But I now look back and I think, you poor fucking sod. Like, having that 1.5 hour time in every day where I would basically starve myself in the night before, get up, go and do whatever it was I was needed to do, whether it was playgroup, whatever, and then get back before I'd shit myself. It was like all of these unwritten rules that nobody else could see I had. I think people thought I was just a really difficult person, because I would obviously but then at this point, because you're years into diagnosis at this point, but I'm still not really telling my mum and sister and whoever else how bad things actually were. I think they thought I was just a bit nuts after having kids or whatever, but it's only now when I'm like, I was like that for a reason. I had all of these unwritten rules that you guys had no idea about that I had to adhere to, otherwise I would fucking shit myself in public. Or, I had really low iron for all of this as well, because everybody's disease affects them differently, but my sort of main symptom is losing blood. So I'm losing blood every single bowel movement, Derek, for 2 years. And that's not just once a day. That's, the least amount that I would go is 5 times a day, and that would be on a really good day. Losing blood enough to, for you to look in the toilet and be like, what's happened? Constantly losing blood. And then as a woman, we have our menstrual cycle, you're losing blood. So my anchor, and it's like your ferritin levels sat between 1, which is really low, by the way, to I think 15 was the highest it ever was in that sort of 5-year period until recently, because obviously before, when I was pregnant and stuff, it was low. And now it sits where I am healthy. My bowel is normal, by the way, apart from a tiny bit, but my bowel is normal now. I am absorbing iron and stuff, and it sits at 65, which is still, I think, on the lower end, but it's unreal how much different I feel. Yeah. And I attribute that mainly to obviously the bowel being under control, but I had to even make decisions like having a coil fitted to stop my menstrual cycle, to try and keep some blood in there to keep myself from not being low all the time. It's crazy how it affects you. You don't even realise that it's affecting you on that level until you sort of look back, and it's only when you step back, and that's what remission has allowed me to do, is step back and realise that this disease is, it comes on in different ways, and it is a fucker.
Yeah, in more ways than one. Well, let's have a look at these social posts. The internet is full of people raising awareness for living with inflammatory bowel disease. It's not only life-altering disease, it defines the course of your life in lots of ways, yet nobody is talking about... And you've got some topics here, so let's take the first one. The dreaded enema suppositories.
Yes, I think that leads into hanky-panky I've written about.
Oh, all right, okay. Go. Talk to us about that.
So sometimes you get prescribed enemas or suppositories to help tackle your inflammation head on. And at one point I was having to do that morning and night to try and just get any sort of relief. And I think my point there is we're all talking about having them, but nobody's talking about the impact that has on your own routine, whether you're single or not. Having to go to your bed and lie on your left side or whatever you're doing to put these things up your backside. You're not always wanting to go to your bed early to do that. Maybe you want to sit on your couch and watch your TV, whatever it is. But when you are so desperate to obviously find something that works to cure your colitis, because that's what we're all secretly hoping it's going to do. We know now it's to manage it, but at this point you're still praying that something's going to cure it. You don't realise that that's actually eating into your life in a way that you're not even considering until you have space from it, and you think, that's not really that normal to have to go to your bed early enough to do that. Lie on your left side for as long as it takes for it to be absorbed. because you need to keep it in. You can't just go to the toilet after. And the point was with that is, in a normal relationship, you maybe would have spontaneous intimacy. You can't have that when you're dealing with that. That's another way to put that.
No.
And that's annoying, for lack of a better word. It's a roadblock. What else have I written on that?
Did you mean you haven't got it memorised?
Mm-hmm.
You did use the phrase hanky panky, and maybe need to slag you a wee bit for that.
Well, I was trying to keep it PG. This is my point.
You're not 12.
Well, I don't want to be I feel like it's a bit of a taboo subject to speak about.
No, but see that's why I think your social media is great, because you do go into that the kind of a bit more taboo, and you are quite open as an individual, and you know what, this sanitising this is not beneficial, in my opinion, to education and people's understanding. It's not helped till now.
Yeah,
it won't help in the future. Now, what I do understand, the flip side of that is that these things can be sensationalised as well, which is also not healthy. But in there lies a truth, or in there lies the truth, and that's important to talk about. We spoke kind of off camera earlier on about I can't remember the exact phrase that you used, but almost people making the inflammatory bowel disease sexy.
Yeah,
and that's very dangerous, or fashionable, or
a wee bit accessorised, I think.
Accessorised, aye. But do you know, see what I actually think that happens in society, that conditions or challenges can become almost accessorised or to be made popular. I think it happened with mental health and depression a few years ago. I think ADHD is it just now, and it's so dangerous, and it's not a healthy thing. I think it's great for awareness. Awareness of any condition and any challenge is really, really important. But how that's done is sometimes kind of pisses me off a wee bit, because you see people who actually need the help, who are maybe actually suffering, or they've got these challenges that really need the help, and they've got other people that don't. I think that's a real challenge. But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. The advocacy and raising awareness is important, but if you don't get under the bonnet, then is it worth it?
It's not worth it. And I think going off the hanky-panky thing, I am laughing at me using that word, but I don't want anybody to read that in a way and think, I don't know, it's taboo. It is taboo. And I don't want to divulge my own, sort of sex life on the internet. That's not what it's about at all. But I've literally just not long done an article with Self Magazine, and she wanted advice on dating and stuff. And I was explaining to her that it's difficult, because where your basic human needs, so sleep, reproduction, food, what else are we putting in there, shelter, whatever else, those three things. So I've already touched on the fact that I wasn't eating in the way that I usually would, I wasn't sleeping, and then my personal life was starting to be affected, as in intimacy. So, and a lot of women, won't even consider having sex, call it what it is, because they're so ill. But when you do engage in it, it can be tricky, because as women, or as human beings, you've got that sort of mental side of things where it comes to enjoying intimacy. So if you're dealing with something anyway, never mind something like inflammatory bowel disease, the mental stress, and then you've got the physical side of things, it means that you're not maybe able to enjoy the pleasure in the way that you usually would before, because you're so worried that you're going to shit yourself. And without beating around the bush, you're not able to relax enough to have an orgasm when you're feeling that way. And that over time, so this obviously is just my experience, it did take me 2.5 years with extensive colitis to get under control. That then was obviously problematic for me. I wasn't able to receive pleasure in the way that I would have before. And that over time is, I don't even know how you would say that. It's degrading, it's humiliating, it's not a nice experience.
No. no, it's understandable. But I think that the fact that you're so open about it is beneficial, because as you it's a subject that even on this show, we've mentioned it, but nobody's
just saying
it a wee bit more. It's like intimacy issues, and that's kind of where it stops. Because
obviously I understand why it stops there. It is a taboo subject, and it does obviously have to be spoken about in like a boundaried way or whatever for anybody's comfort levels, even people that are listening. But it is just one of these things that is happening for us all. So why is nobody mentioning it? And then even the article that I posted the other day, I've noticed there's actually more males that are supporting it. So I'm wondering, and it's not a conversation I've had at length with any men, but it's maybe happening for them as well, and they're just not. Well, it would make perfect sense. Articulating it, yeah. Yeah, but because men are rubbish at articulating stuff. You said it. No, it's true. There's no doubt in my mind that that's true. But I think it's really important. I think one of the things that within our community and within the space that our charities in is the Catherine McEwan Foundation, the majority of interactions, the majority of people who come to our support events, and to a certain extent our service provision and our support services, most of them are women. Mm. Most of them are women. So I mean, I would love more guys to be coming and being supported instead of shutting it off. I think as a society, men need to be a bit more open. No doubt about it at all. So I mean, over the coming year, I would hope to be doing stuff that is just for guys, because they'll maybe feel a little bit better in a safer space with their own. I think men open up to women more. I think, and I've been told it as well, like it's easier to speak to a woman than it is another guy about things, depending on the guy, I guess, that's sort of leading the conversation. But one of my friends, he had said that he prefers to follow the females on, because MySpace obviously is Instagram, prefers to follow females on Instagram because we are more open about the disease and we articulate it better, essentially. One of my friends has told me that before. I wouldn't disagree. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree about the articulating it. Okay. Number 2 on your list here: the middle of the day showers cause you've shit yourself on the way home from your daily outing. That is a fucker. It got to the point as well, like it wasn't happening for me all the time, by the way. Like I could probably count on my 2 hands the amount of times I've defecated myself. I'm laughing at my way of saying it, but you've got to have humour in it, Derek. It is mortifying, but I think I just got to the point where I had bigger fish to fry than worrying about shitting myself. And that's... Do you know what's... do you know what... obviously I've had a gazillion conversations, not only on the podcast, but just through my day-to-day life and the experience, and this is something that comes up all the time, and it just always amazes me how creative people are at getting on with life, and it's very, very admirable in a really, really challenging situation, but also it's like the attitude to it. It's like obviously it's a deeply personal thing, and it's an effect, but it's how they actually go over that and deal with it. And I'm not saying celebrate it; they definitely don't celebrate it, but it's life. It's part of their life, and they kind of got on with it. I think it's hard because I don't actually remember the first time I shit myself. Genuinely can't. Like I say, it's not actually been that often considering the level of disease that I was dealing with. You'd think it would have happened more, but I just remember thinking that, something's got to need to change here, because when I did it the first time out and about, I just thought, this isn't great. Like, no, it's not great. The situation's not great. No, it's not. You're not. But there's no point in crying about it. Like, there's no point in crying about it. It is what it is, and I think I'm quite lucky in the sense that I wouldn't even know what you would describe my attitude as. I get on with that attitude, but I don't even know why I've got that. I think it's because of the kids. I can't not keep going with my day because nobody else is going to come and look after them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I used to just think, right, that needs to change, because I always remember a time I had to put my mum to the group or whatever with my daughter, because I was too ill to go. And I had to drop her off and pick her up because Mum doesn't drive. And I shit myself on the way to pick them up, basically. And I had to text her and be like, look, I've had an accident. I'll need to come and get you in a wee while. But I was grumpy about it. Obviously, there must be an element of self-protection in that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really open, but I am guarded. Like, I'm quite private, which would shock you because I speak so openly about it now. But this is, with hindsight, I'm able to speak about it. At the time, I was kind of like, well, I would tell you, but I'm not wanting to have a conversation about it. Do you know what I mean? So my mum and that maybe weren't realising what level of illness I was dealing with. They just thought I was quite like, I don't know, uptight or grumpy, really gurney, like really like not edgy as such, but like, I don't know, just closed off from the world.
Yeah, but whether it's that or something else, it's your human instinct is to kind of shut down. You maybe be a wee bit quieter, you know, if you've had some level of trauma that's happened to you.
Yeah, because it's traumatic shitting yourself.
Of course it is.
It is. I remember I'd had to bin my trousers. I thought, I ain't cleaning that. It was like a cow pat in it. Like, and I thought, nah, that's not worth trying to clean. So I was like, right. So now I've binned those trousers. I'd maybe binned jammy bottoms the day before. You know, I was starting to have to bin my clothes.
Yeah.
I was like, right, something needs to change here. Nappies it is.
Yeah. I remember I found my mum's.
I listened to your podcast on this.
Did you? And I thought my mum was pregnant.
That cracked me up.
Fuck.
Do you know, listening to your story though, I actually felt like crying in parts of that, but because you have a story similar to mine, but you're on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So hearing your perspective of how your mum lived is almost like potentially what my kids are now going to be thinking as they get older.
Yeah. I think
so that hit a nerve for me actually, like listening to that.
No, I can understand why. I think the difference now is the access to information, because back then there really wasn't much. I mean, what I know, you know, for what I know now, I can't believe my mum was even diagnosed. To be honest with you, and you know, but because some people find it so challenging, and you know, she was diagnosed obviously 70 something like that. 1971 or something like that. Yeah, 70, 71 she would have been diagnosed. So no, I can understand what the parallels. But as a kid, if it was now, I would be like on and what's happening, and you know, following colitis with Catriona.
Exactly, cheeky plug there.
Yeah. Something that's a big one on this list. I'm not going to do them all. I'm just going to pick out the big ones on this list. The financial burden of being sick.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Silly things as well. Like, you don't even think about these things, and they're privileged situations to have as well. But things like when we moved house, we had to move from Glasgow to Inverness for family support because of the illness.
So you actually moved back home?
Moved home because it was placing an incredible amount of pressure on my ex-partner, is now ex-partner at the time, because he was the main breadwinner, but I obviously was unable to work at the same capacity that I was before because of the illness. Obviously I have 2 kids as well, so it's kind of is realistically impacted by having kids as well. Of course. But the illness does impact that. So it was putting quite a lot of pressure on him to, you know, maintain his income to support all 4 of us now. Yeah. And then things like, so naturally, if I didn't have this disease, if we were maybe moving, we could have moved to a slightly cheaper house or whatever, because it didn't have to have a toilet, 2 toilets, and a driveway. But when we were then looking at properties, my needs were I needed 2 toilets, not just because of my bowel disease, but then because I had the 2 kids that were eventually going to be potty trained and stuff. Yeah. They can't wait for me to get off the toilet. So things like needing 2 toilets in the house was a prerequisite. It was a non-negotiable. I wasn't being a princess. It was what we needed. And then we needed a driveway because I'd have to leave my children on the driveway whilst I went in the house and did a shit, essentially. You can't do that in any place. Like if I had, so we looked at a house and it had on-street parking, and I loved the house, but I said, I can't live here. This isn't going to work. It wouldn't have worked if it was just me, never mind with 2 kids and a dog, food shopping, getting it all in the house and stuff. Yeah. Literally couldn't move to that house because of where it was. So I feel like that added pressure to him to essentially fork out for a bigger house. Yeah, of course. And then even with that, it was like the then sort of house that we could afford to buy needed work to accommodate said needs. Yeah. And I'm really, really fortunate that my brother-in-law is a plumber. But even that, it's like we had booked for the workmen to come in and have work done to the house, like do the toilet and whatever else. I had to keep cancelling it because my disease was so active that I couldn't be in a house where the water was turned off. Like, see, to have our bathroom redone, the kitchen and stuff. I can't be in the house without my water on. I need access to the toilet. So that had to be pushed back a couple of times, and thankfully it was all totally fine. But even that, say, people would say to me...
I bet there's so many people that can relate to that.
Oh, 100%.
You know, because...
But people would say to me, can you not just go to your dad's while the work's been done? And I'm like, no, because he only has one toilet. I also have 2 children. Like, I had a 2-year-old and a newborn toilet. Like, I couldn't just go anywhere with them. I would say I am embarrassed as well. Like, even in my own dad's house, I'm not wanting to be running back and forth to the toilet, whether they understand it or not.
Yeah.
It's a boundary that I cannot do. And that, I feel like, is something that's not really spoken about, to be honest. And career delays as well. Like, again, my children come into this. Absolutely, it's not just the bowel disease, but even if the kids weren't there, there's no way I'd be working full-time at the level that I would have done before this diagnosis.
No.
The fatigue, the symptoms, the amount of time you have to come off, I feel like it affects people's perceptions of you as well if you're a little bit flaky, for lack of a better word. Like, it's so much more than just a shitting disease.
Yeah, but that comes down to... I was speaking... I was speaking at a corporate thing in a bank a few weeks ago, and it was about understanding invisible conditions in the workplace, and the big one of the big themes that came out of it was communication. I mean, we mentioned that earlier on, but just in a different way. But if your workplace and the people that work with you and rely on you and stuff like that can understand to a level what your challenges are, then you're not just that, you know, somebody might deem you unreliable, or as you put it, flaky, or she's not turned up today, or she's you know, you might have to go to the toilet or whatever. People get that perception. However, if there's an education, I think businesses and workplaces have got they've got a responsibility to educate their teams, and it makes it a better place to work.
They do, but the problem I have with that is, why should, and I understand why we need to, right? But like, I had a situation basically where in my work we all share a toilet and it's public access to it without a code, and the solution was that it needed to be like double locked with a pin and a key, but there's only one key, right? I am very open. I don't care if everybody knows I've got bowel disease. I'm sat on the internet speaking about it. But out of principle, why should I be the one that has to carry the key, that everybody has to come and ask me for the key? Because then it raises questions amongst everybody why I've got the key. I'm happy with that. But also, why should that be the case where it's highlighted that it's me that's got the problems? This is the situation I had within the workplace.
But I would also suggest that their format's piss. Yeah. I mean, that's
so
rubbish.
I had to say, like, I am comfortable with this, but my problem is I wouldn't be comfortable for somebody else to be put in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to highlight the fact that it's me that's got the key, because it does raise the question why she got the key. Do you know what I mean? I've got the key.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
But it also, like, put pressure on me, because if I was in the toilet with the key, I'd be...
we're just going to stop there, actually, because you sang that song, because it's rotten. You were doing well with your music.
Up.
You were doing so well with your musical taste.
I could see your toe tapping to it.
No. Urban Cookie Collective, I've Got the Key is not... No, man, come on.
Okay, sorry.
Right. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. If you're talking about something quite dramatic.
It's not dramatic, but no, like, I feel like I feel where I am so open and, like, up front, I did feel in that moment to say, well, actually, no, this isn't okay, and you can't really be asking somebody to do that sort of thing.
No, I totally get it, and you know, if you look at it from a school perspective as well,
children,
a lot of the kids that we speak to, them maybe got a hall pass and stuff like that, and they're a bit embarrassed because they've got the hall pass. And
shame. I feel like saying to them, don't worry, because kids do rip you for it 100%. Like, we've all been in school.
Yeah,
but I'm not remembering anybody like this. Like, once you grow up, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not caring what somebody said to you in high school, Derek, surely not.
I don't know, I was scarred with some of my high school friends. No, I actually don't care now.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
No, but I don't. In general, I think there would be a point that you were bothered what other people thought, but no, not for a very long time. Not for a very long time. I think this is a cracking post. What's the best IBD advice nobody gave you?
Can you remind me what's on that? Please?
Oh, come on, you might know this.
I do, but I feel like if there's a particular one, I would
Okay.
expand on it.
Okay, I think that's fair. Self-compassion.
That's a huge one.
Massive.
Huge. And it's something that I'm still working on, admittedly.
Yeah, but I mean, I think people in general, I think when you've got inflammatory bowel disease, that cranks it up to 1,000,000.
I think, see, even like having people, because it took a long time for me to even recognise that that was a thing that you needed to do, but having health professionals from different fields as well, because it's not just your IBD nurse that should be dealing with you. Like dietitian support is incredibly important, but it wasn't until I had support from them and they were using words like recovery, like you're in recovery, or malnourished, even though I wasn't skin and bones, so I wouldn't have classified myself as that until, like, looking back, obviously realised I was.
But it's all part of your ongoing management, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we'll touch on this a little later because you've mentioned it as well. It's even when you're feeling brilliant, it's important to manage.
It is. But sorry, so it's when people started using words like that, I started to recognise, like, this is actually a proper disease. Like,
yeah,
it's serious.
But did you think it was kidding on before?
I didn't think it was kidding on, but I thought, like, I don't think I really recognised the.
Is that you never recognised, or you were in denial?
In denial, probably. Yeah. In I would call it survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't until, like, these appointments that I was like, right, these people are saying the same thing to me. Like, I am actually ill. It was almost like I was gaslighting myself, because I remember until a certain point or whatever, I just used to think that everybody felt like I did.
Yeah.
And I was the problem, not the disease. That's genuinely how I felt. I felt like you were going about your day feeling like this. And it's not now until I've had a sniff of remission that I'm like, oh, other people don't feel like this. That wasn't normal. And so like, seeing a mental health therapist or nurse, whatever, she would use words like self-compassion, and she would point out my own sort of self-sabotaging behaviours or, like, coping mechanisms that actually weren't normal.
Okay, what are they, if you don't mind me asking? So let's take them one by one. Self-sabotage.
Be here a while.
I know. Self-sabotage.
I wouldn't necessarily call it self-sabotage, but just, like, not acknowledging where I was at before, like realising that other people don't have all of these unwritten rules on them. So it wasn't until my disease went into remission that I started to realise that I had all of these rules and regulations on my life, because I remember phoning the doctor, and I can't even remember what it would have been about. I think it was probably mental health. I've always struggled with anxiety, and I was actually laughing about this with friends the other day. I've had it since I was a child, but I also used to put myself in really dangerous situations as a child. Like we had, well, my best friend had horses, so we would be doing shitty, stupid things with the horses. Like, you know, you shouldn't really be getting on a horse that you know is going to try and jack you off, that sort of thing.
No.
Or going in the stable with a horse that you know is going to try and kick you, things like that. So naturally, I was anxious about that, but it was normal to be. When
I was young, I got kicked in the head with a horse, and it was absolutely horrendous.
That explains a lot, didn't it?
I always remember I absolutely shot myself. It was really sore, and I ran away.
I can imagine.
It wasn't great. So, to get in the place with the horse, I mean, I just walked behind the horse because I didn't know that was a dangerous thing. That was just me being ignorant.
Right.
I don't know, I was only young, 6, 7, whatever. Wallop. Wow. Just knocked me about 10 feet away.
Fuck's sake.
And I'm looking at it, and it's not looking too happy with me, and I just ran away here. It's a terrible thing. So you get into an enclosed space with said horse.
Yeah, like, just, we would, and my friends owned a golf course as well, so we'd be on that, golf buggies and that.
So sorry, we need to go back here. So my friends got horses, and my friends owned the golf course. You're dealing in some circles,
I've got good friends. Still very good friends.
Are they worth the tap?
Put you in contact. But we would have like 9 of us on this silly little golf buggy. Obviously, we're going to tip it. Do you know what I mean? But I'd be on the back, like, aware of the danger.
But is that not just being a kid?
It is being a kid, but anyway, that sort of anxieties that I had came into adulthood, and I really don't like not being in control of situations. I think other sort of traumatic childhood experiences that we won't get onto on here has always just made me somebody that's got, I don't know, like anxiety, let's call it what we call it. So that was really prominent in my IBD journey because I didn't have any control. Like I've got no control over what my bowel's doing. I've got no control over who's coming in my door when I'm in hospital, what your GP's going to say, things like that. And it's only when I went to therapy I realised all of these things that I was trying to sort of clutch at with control. And really I've not got any. And it wasn't until she pointed out things as well. Like I had a lot of resentment around having to go to appointments. So like I'd be aware of the fact that I was going to them, but I would wait until the very last minute to leave for them. So like I did this really silly thing. Was going for a scope one day and I waited until like 8:15. Say I had to leave at like 8:30. I waited until 8:15 to put my NM in. Who does that when you've got to leave at 8:30 and be at your appointment 10 minutes later? It's playing with fire, Derek.
I know that, but everybody does stuff differently.
So she pointed out, like, that's because you're resenting the fact that you're going to it. So you're, like, putting it off for as long as possible and then, like, rushing. Because I always feel like, as well, like, I thrive under pressure, which is a silly thing to do because it puts your nervous system always on edge. Do you know what I mean?
Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, but I'm scared of doing it.
Yeah,
so why am I doing it to myself?
But it sounds a wee bit adrenaline junkish to me.
I wouldn't jump out of a plane or that though.
Yeah, but you get into the wee stable with the aggressive horse. It's just a different thing. It is.
That's the thing about courage, and this is a little bit off topic, but I quite often will get commented on in real life and like online and stuff about how brave I am and stuff like that. And it's not about doing things and not being scared. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway and knowing that, you know, you're doing something scary. And I'm not talking about like doing stupid shit on purpose. I'm talking about real life things that are scary, like getting your bloods done, because that is something that I'm really scared of.
My wife doesn't like that.
She's
petrified.
Oh, I'm with you on that. It's
awful. No, like properly petrified.
Derek, me too. So,
well, maybe you should have a competition to see who's the most scared.
No, seriously. But this is my point though, I'm terrified of it.
But you'd still do it.
I'd still do it. Like I wouldn't bat your hand away or a faint or whatever. I would feel all the fear and do it anyway. And that rings true for everything else I do that's bold. Like telling your gastro that you disagree with them or whatever. Because that is scary.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's really long-winded for saying self-compassion. So the point is
I know you've totally went off topic.
I know.
By the way.
Like, why did you not take me back?
No, because you forgot. I was interested. I was interested.
But being kind to yourself, like realising that.
Yeah, because self-care is not selfish.
Oh, it's not. But people do call it selfish.
Yeah, but fuck them.
Easier said than done.
That says more about them than it does about you.
Easier said than done.
Nah. Honestly, I think everybody, whether you've got IBD or not, you need to take time for yourself. You need to have your space. You need to do one thing a day that's about you. Mm-hmm. Most time, for me personally, I enjoy exercise. So most days I will train in the morning before I go to work, and that helps me physically, but it also helps my mental health as well. And it sets me up for the day and my routine, and it gets me into good habits, good eating. Yeah,
that was always mine as well. And then obviously IBD, you couldn't do it for quite a long time.
But you exercise now? I
exercise now, and it is. So I've been having like quite a stressful time the last, let's say, year, like personal.
Yeah.
And exercise for me has been like the one consistent thing in my life.
Brilliant.
And that's been really, really helpful.
Do you know something? Anybody that knows me, I'm a massive fan of it.
Oh, I love
it. And no matter what, I know that, you know, lots of our community will say, I can't do that. But you can do it. Most people
control what you can control.
Yeah, but you can do a certain. You know, it might be you walk to the end of the street and back, because that's what you can do.
See that though, what you've just said, that takes a bit of an ego death to accept that it is going to be that way, and that's something that I've spoken about on that channel somewhere too. It's like having the ability to be a beginner again is so important when you're somebody that's struggling with chronic illness in general, because I used to be able to do like 3 classes back to back.
Yeah.
Like I would have that for breakfast, it'd be fine. Now it's like I'm hiding at the back of the class, starting with the lowest weights and stuff. And I have recognised in the last sort of 6 months my fitness has improved significantly from what it was before, but I'm still miles off what I was pre-diagnosis, miles off it.
Yeah, but I think that you would be extremely unfair on yourself to to have that comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, Catriona.
You're using my own words against me.
That's not your words.
Well, they've been used in that.
It's a well-known. I've never even seen that. It's a well-known phrase. Comparison is the thief of joy.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm never going to be in the front of men's health. I never want to be, but there's people who
Ever seen Ever, Derek?
No, not at all. Not unless it was the Janny edition. The Janny edition. But I think you used a phrase there, an ego death.
Oh, an ego death.
I like that. I quite like that.
Well, it is, because we all have ego and pride. Like, I think people think when I'm saying things like, oh, shit myself and blah, blah, blah. I do have pride. I do have an ego that was shattered plenty of times. Still is, some days I think, oh my God, I cannot believe that this is my life. But I think the difference is I cannot change the situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
I have inflammatory bowel disease. It isn't going to go away. So what I do with that is sort of where my power lies, and that's where I've realised that I have to do things to accommodate it, essentially.
Yeah, and I think that's for anybody watching is a brilliant thing to hear. I think acceptance is a superpower, and in any walk of life, because that enables you to if you. I'll explain this well. If you can accept where you are in life, then you can progress to where you want to be. Now that road might not be the road that you thought you were going to travel, but you can still excel. You can still
you can go on ways.
Potential.
Yeah, like you said, you're not superstitious or anything like that. But I'm not really superstitious, but I am quite spiritual. Like, in the sense of I do believe in the universe and things like that. Like, I do believe in the law of attraction. I think what you put out does come back. And I think, and it's not toxic positivity either, because if anybody knows me, I absolutely hate that. Like somebody telling you just, think the positives and that, because actually there is sometimes no positives to something. It is just all shite. And I am. That's true. See, it is true.
See, I'm a silver lining kind of guy.
Big. No, see, we won't get on. I think there's a lot in acknowledging.
I thought they were doing so well.
I know, but I think there's power in just accepting and acknowledging that things are shite, but also hitting. And I think there is power in hitting rock bottom too, because when you realise, oh shit, I'm down here, there is actually only one way to go. And I think once you've experienced that once, when that does happen again, because this is something that inflammatory bowel disease has really equipped me with, and I am grateful for it.
Yeah.
You can have really, really terrible times and experience those terrible times without scrambling to get yourself out of it, but also having the understanding and knowledge that things do get better, and it can make you trust in the fact that all of these shit things are actually happening for a reason. And one day you'll realise why, and you can come out of it. And that is what's literally got me through this last sort of year, dealing with that unravelling of my relationship and things like that. Like, I've had an ego death before with my inflammatory bowel disease. I've done that really shit time. I've also now, I would say, I'm coming out of my shit time.
Good. Which
is good. But if I hadn't had the inflammatory bowel disease, I wouldn't have known how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So is there a silver lining though?
There is the silver lining that you can have bad times, and you can accept that you're in your bad times and not be trying to do all your positive thinking and that to get out of it, but knowing that it does get better. That's the silver lining. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, or the bill, I say.
There's always light at the end of the bill. Well, it's the one of that's good. The good time that you're going through just now. Pass.
Pass on it.
It will pass.
That is the reality. It's not
that really bad time that you're going through.
But also your good times,
pass.
And that's what encourages you to enjoy it. Like, if you're having a good time at the minute, if somebody's listening to this and they're thinking life's a bit too easy, you enjoy that, because you can bet your bottom dollar that's gonna something will come along and change that.
Yeah, definitely. one of the things that we've been doing a lot of work and speaking to the community over the past year for a specific project that we'll be launching later in the year. But one of the things that really, I don't know, it affected me, because I'd never heard it before, and I heard a few people say it through this process, was that they felt better. They felt as if they were better when they were in a flare, because the anxiety of feeling good and expecting the flare round the corner left them destroyed.
We've spoken about this before. I don't think I've ever experienced that, to be honest, because, like I'm saying, my disease affects me in a way that is quite aggressive, as in the iron levels go, it's not just going to the toilet, blah, blah, blah. So I really do feel like utter shit when I am flaring. But this most recent flare that I'm currently having is mild. That's always the worry now, though, because I'm like, I know what level this could potentially flare up at.
So I think that's kind of part of what those guys were getting at, and I'm like, God, that's up. The mindset blew me away, because it's like, you know, you're in a good place just now, but you've got a huge anxiety about being in this bad place.
It stops you from doing any sort of life change. I think a lot of people struggle with this. Like, I've constantly had this worry about changing my job or moving house or anything like that, because you're so worried that the stress of that is going to flare up your illness. And I think where I've only had that really terrible experience of a flare, this new one, it's like I'm kind of on tenterhooks all the time, wondering what's going to happen with that. And I think that's part of acceptance as well, as I actually haven't got any control over that. What that does is none of my business, essentially. Well, it's not. I can't control it, Derek. You can think and say until you're blue in the face, oh, I do my exercise, my diets, my systems and routines will get you into remission. They don't. You haven't got any control over it. I don't, anyway.
And
I think the more you try and control it as well, the more it controls you. Which is true.
Yeah.
The more you're trying to control what your rectum's doing, essentially, or your colon, the more it's controlling what you're doing. Whereas if you just try and sort of, and it's easier said than done, but detach from what that's doing and carry on with your own systems and routines, like exercise in whatever way that looks like for you. Yeah.
But it comes down to that kind of mindset as well, that you know that the condition's not going to define you.
No,
it'll be what it will be, and you know, and you're more than the condition.
That's really important, but I think it's hard to get to that place if you've lived with it. Yeah. At a certain level or whatever, but it does come good again. Like, I've got people that message me all the time and like, how will I ever live a normal life, or like, thank me for sharing my normal life, because I share quite a lot of the stuff that I'm up to on my page, but it's for that reason. Like, I want people to see that eventually, like, you do have a normal life-ish with it.
But I think that's massively important, and I think that's one of the things that's good about your presence with your page as well, is like you do share the roller coaster. It's not just a highlight reel.
No, because there's no point in lying about it.
No, definitely not. I think this is an interesting one. I'd stop following a lot. I'd stop following. Where am I? Sorry, I've got the wrong question for a start. Right.
This is the post on what I would do if I was diagnosed now.
I don't think it is.
It is. That's the post it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
If I was diagnosed.
I'd stop following lots of Instagram accounts, forums and searching for a cure, and follow 1 to 3 people who I've actually vibed with and trusted.
I think that's a really important one. I think when you're first diagnosed, or certainly in my case, you scramble looking for some sort of hope. You're on that forums, you're Googling how to cure it. I used to do stupid shit, Derek, like take 8 curcumin tablets a day, try to cure my colitis. 8. And it's because I listened to some podcast where somebody told me that if you did that, that would cure your colitis. Or I stopped eating sugar, or I stopped eating dairy, like constantly tampering with myself, trying to fix myself.
Yeah, but
and I can't blame anybody. And I also think we do have an element of responsibility for our own health. Absolutely. And if you find a system and routine that works for you, or a diet that works for you, that's brilliant. But don't then go on and market it to people, telling them that you've got a cure, because you don't.
You've touched on like one of my bugbears, and you know, within any form of health,
and celebrities are awful for it.
Oh, but see, the thing is, see with AI, I don't know who's you know what they're what they're selling, and B, if it's actually them anyway in the celebrity stuff. But I think this. I think it's brilliant. See if somebody's got something that works for them. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody searches.
But sell it as that, as anecdotal. Don't.
Yeah, this is what for me. But see when then that turns into them monetising it, or trying to monetise it, and pushing that it works for them. And I mean, I wouldn't even give them airspace because there's so many of them. It's so dangerous.
It's really dangerous. There was a quote in Brandon's podcast you did with him, and it was like, boys and girls, that meds that you have been given, do not come off them. They're so important. And it wasn't even relevant to this topic that we're having. But I remember seeing that. I think that guy speaks sense. That guy is speaking sense, because the amount of people that I see on that Instagram or whatever that are PTs or whatever else, because this is obviously what I realised that Brandon was, and I thought he's normal. He's a normal PT. Oh, my systems and routines will get you into remission. I remember this PT messaged me on Instagram and was like, no wonder you've got bowel disease when you're eating 4 donuts, because I would eat like 4 donuts in a row. And I'd think, who are you to tell me it's the donuts that's causing this?
Oh, fuck off, mate.
Honestly, I couldn't even reply. I thought, oh, fuck off. But I'm like, you're literally trying to tell me that your diet and exercise is going to cure a colitis that but millions and trillions of doctors, by the way.
But here's the thing, right? Why does that individual think it's acceptable to message you?
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, who are you?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, why? Because it's a horrible thing in like modern society that, see, if you don't agree with something, you can get it online. Well, you do get it online, but you see something, it might be like a music track, it might be something, whatever it is, and people feel the need to direct message or post about it and how bad it was and how that. Who cares, mate, if you don't like it?
Yeah, move on.
Move on if you don't like something. All right, such and such is playing the hydro.
I'm sensing a wee bit of hypocrisy here, Derek.
Not at all.
My singing, you were like, I hate that song.
But just my opinion.
It's not a song I like, to be fair. I feel like I need to justify that.
No, I think it's the thing that so many people go on, and it's always like, and I'm going to include my wife and my wee pal Jackie in this, when they're half canned and they're trying to get in there. I've got the key.
You just look like a good laugh, by the way.
No, definitely. Apart from that song, but no, what I'm saying is, such and such is playing the hydro or whatever, and then somebody goes and vents how they hate them and this and that. So
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, you're not going to buy a ticket. So if the 12,000
it's the keyboard
people
warrior mentality now, isn't it? Everybody's doing it.
But even worse when it's a personal thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like people getting
the
at you
food
for eating
thing,
donuts.
Because I'll post stuff that I'm eating, because I think it's important to show that I can eat a varied diet now that I'm in remission. And the amount of times you get either people saying, oh, I can't believe you can eat that while you're in remission, as in like they're coming from a place of genuine curiosity because they maybe can't or whatever. And then you get the people that are messaging saying things like that. Like, and if I see it and I think, oh, you're at it, I'll just literally ignore it. Or if there's a post on there somewhere about food and there's loads of cheeky messages on it, and I thought, just have a day off.
Do you remember what any of them say?
One of them was like, oh, you're talking nonsense. No wonder you've beaten enough layer for 4 years if that's what you're eating. Blah, blah, blah. It's a PT.
Almost taking pleasure in it.
Aye, and I thought, seriously, have a day off.
I know, but, it's modern society is it's great in so many ways, but horrible in so many ways. I like this one. I'd allow myself to rest without guilt.
Yes, that's a big one.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Do you do it?
I do actually now. I think I still struggle with feeling like I'm selfish. But I think I've realised, and this is what's really important, is actually only me that will deal with the repercussions if I ignore my own signals. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's me that's going to have to deal with all the needles and whatever else. And I don't want to do it, so I'm just not.
No. It's... but I think we touched on it a wee bit earlier as well. I think it's difficult for people to switch off, and they feel pressures out with, don't they?
That post that you're about to click on, I've written in that, I feel like as a society we expect people to live with chronic illness like we don't have a life to live. So attending your appointments and all that, you're expected to just be free whenever the NHS give you an appointment. Like, you don't have a job, like you don't have kids, like you don't have a social life. If you've got an appointment, you're expected to be there for it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I would never dream of rescheduling an important appointment. I don't know if that's just me. And as a society, we're expected to keep living like we don't have a chronic illness, and that is a really, really tough balance to strike.
I think you're right. It's kind of bizarre in many respects for me, that mindset, because I seen a post on social media again. Everything's on social media. I seen a post on social media, and it was I can't remember where it was. It wasn't your page, but it was someone that was living with inflammatory bowel disease, and they said if the way that they feel every single day in life, if someone in their workplace or a friend or family member who was what you would deem healthy, not living with inflammatory bowel disease, had to live with that,
they'd be A&E.
One day they would be A&E. They would be taking all sorts of time off work. They would be so on and so forth. The knock-on effect of that. But you guys, you turn up every day.
Every damn day.
Turn up for the kids. Turn up for the family. Turn up for what? Every day. But you're just expected to. It's a twisted thing.
It is twisted because it's almost like a form of torture, and there's actually you don't often, like, I'm not sitting consciously thinking this is like a form of torture, right? But if I look back at the messages that I would have maybe sent my mum or whatever during that flare up before it became under control, I'd be saying things to her like, I am literally glued to my toilet, like I can't do anything, I'm glued to my toilet. And it's torture. I would use the word torture.
Yeah. Because
it was like, it's not just going to the toilet. It's, I think I said this to you when we had like one of our calls, even just try to make breakfast in the morning, I'd be going to the toilet 10 times a day. Yeah. Like 10 times in that, like literally just making a bowl of porridge, back and forth. Because other people that don't have children would maybe just stay on their toilet for an hour. Like one of my friends, he'll sit on his toilet for an hour. I was like, I can't sit on my toilet for an hour. I have 2 children, like it's up and down about 10 times, literally.
Yeah.
Passing a little bit, getting off, passing a little bit, getting off. It's like, you won't even be able to comprehend that. I still struggle to, and it was me that lived with it. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I don't, and that's the thing. Even though I'm fully aware of it.
But that's what I mean. Even I lived with that, and I still think, I can't believe I did that.
How was that possible at that time?
Like, even thinking now, even though I've definitely experienced, who's going to the toilet 40 times a day? It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. You are doing it.
Oh, I could not comprehend. Could not comprehend. Social media is fake.
Oh, don't get me started. It is.
You've put it.
It is fake. We're all posting, we're a bit fatigued. Nannies are posting that you are actually fatigued. Nanny, you're only posting your pretty photos, and don't get me wrong, I am bad for that too, because nobody needs to see my ugly mag on my Instagram. But I do point out that it is lies. Even when you're in remission, like, let's not forget as well, like, I am on a hefty biologic, right? That's put my bowel normal. But sometimes, and I think I've written it in that post, funnily enough, sometimes I think the biologic that I'm on that has kept my disease under control has swapped my need for the toilet for my need to be sat down more, like, as in my fatigue's times 100 now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm not going to my toilet 10 times a day, but in certain days I'll maybe be trying to sit down more on my couch or in my bed. The fatigue's is brutal. But nobody's talking about it.
I think the guys at it's a big thing. The guys at Crohn's and Colitis UK at the moment, they're doing a lot of work in that, and I think we've got some plans to work with the guys at Glasgow University in the space as well, because we need to understand it more. We need to understand why and try and find some form of solution and way forward.
Do you know what's beneficial though is now, because since I've been back into exercise and stuff, that has actually improved my energy levels to a point where I actually would now recommend it. Anybody that knows me would, I would have discouraged people to be killing it in the gym whilst dealing with a bad flare, and I still do actually stand by that. Like, if you're under that bad stress with your body, you shouldn't really be adding to that. Is my personal opinion, and I'm glad that I didn't. But now that I am well enough to incorporate exercise, I am reaping the benefits of that, and I can now distinguish quite clearly the difference between being tired and being fatigued. Like, before, I think I just always felt fatigued naturally as well, because I had low iron for such a long time.
Yeah.
You can't really improve that.
Yeah. So when you say you can tell the difference, how can you explain that?
So somebody asked me recently, in a question box, how do I tell the difference between, because when you're a parent, that's relentless. You know, kids are at you constantly, you're quite tired anyway. So somebody had said, how can I tell the difference between if I'm just tired because of my kids, as in their kids, or if it's like chronic illness tired? And I think the difference is if you're tired after the kid's been up 2 or 3 times in the night, or they're asking you a trillion questions, you know, that's a level of tiredness that goes away after a break. So you put your kids to like your mum or whatever, or they go to school and you rest, and then after that space from them, you feel energized to go back and be a happier, calm, present parent. You're just a bit tired, you know. If you have your space away from your children and you do the things like get a good sleep, blah, 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 and you're still feeling like your body is full of lead, that is fatigue. It's not something that's going to go away with doing like a wee bit of self-care or whatever. That's the difference. It's like total body fatigue. It doesn't matter what you're drinking, what you're doing. You just feel fact. You're gone. No control. No control whatsoever. What I think one of the things, you know, you're talking about social media, and obviously you've got a big presence on there. You've got great content. You know, so does it overtake your life? Does it consume it? Doesn't consume it as such, but sometimes I think the benefit versus reward of this maybe isn't worth it, and I think I have to be careful with my own boundaries around how and when I use my phone. So sometimes I will hit a point where I think, I just can't keep sitting on this. It's almost like compassionate fatigue. Like, I am more than happy to have a conversation with somebody or offer them support, but sometimes it gets to a point where if I may be struggling with something in my own life, I think I actually need to put myself first here. So I'll delete the page, as in like delete the app off my phone for a week or whatever. Yeah. And focus on myself. But yeah. So you would actually take the app off your phone? Take the app off the phone. Yeah. I think, well... Which is hard, because I've made really good friends on there. Like one of my best friends, Charlie, I wouldn't have got through this last year. In fact, the last couple of years I've known her without her, and that's mental because I've never even met her. See, that's one of the great things about the internet and about social media. 100%. Something like that. And she would say the same about me, by the way. I'm not just clutching onto her. Yes. Sure. Yes. Sure. She was. I'm just worried for her. You might just spin her off like you did that group. She's all right. She's all right. Where is Charlie from? Charlie is from near Salisbury. I don't want to say the word of where she actually is because I would probably butcher it. Ambersbury. Do you know that area? I don't even know what you said. Ambersbury. Ambes. I don't know. Somewhere down that way. 20 minutes from Salisbury. Well, she's a good friend. So she is a very good friend. And maybe she thought you were blanking her when you just deleted the app. No, she's on the real mobile. She's on. But they laugh because sometimes I'll put the numbers in and I'll put their Instagram handle. Like if they make it to the WhatsApp, if they're special enough for that, I'll put, and Daniel, he'd be laughing, thoughts with colitis. He's in my phone as thoughts with colitis. Not Daniel. I have to have the Instagram name so I know who it is that I'm speaking to. Yeah, I used to make that mistake years ago. I would have nicknames for people. Right. And then, and they would phone and I would forget what nickname I'd given them. Oh, God. That was challenging. I've got like one of my real life friends as well, Helen, because I met her in Aldi at the time. I knew her before this, obviously. I didn't just pick up Aldi Helen. Well, Helen Aldi. that makes sense to me. I had weird nicknames for people. One of the big things, and one of the things that I admire you about is your openness with your parenting with IBD. Yeah. And as a boy who grew up with a parent with IBD, I can relate to a load of it, and I think it was really helpful. Talk to me about that. It's not actually something that I'm particularly open about because I think parents in general can be quite judgy. To be honest, they are. Oh, but the world's judgy. I know, but it's like, I just can't bother opening myself up to that. I don't even remember what I've written on that. The cook once, eat twice. I know that's on it because that's hard. Like, see if you're. Because obviously it's not just me. Like I am now noticing a difference in this because I am an independent parent now, a single mum. I don't always have the children with me now. So I actually find that quite liberating. Like, see, just getting to cook for me, like if the kids are with their dad. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's just me tonight. I could have a bowl of cereal for my dinner if I wanted. Like, that is brilliant. Do you? Yeah. Or I'll just not eat because I think... What's your cereal of choice? Country Crisp.
What even is that?
I knew you were going to say that's a posh cereal.
Is it?
Is it Jordan's?
It's what?
Do you know what that is? Oh, sorry. What sort of cereal do you eat?
I don't eat cereal at all, but
Never.
very, very rarely.
Have you had to eat a bowl of cereal?
No, whoa. This is no, you're not avoiding.
Deflecting.
Let's go. You are absolutely deflecting. We'll come back to me in a minute. I'm happy to do that.
Right.
But talk me through the posh cereal. What's it called?
Country Crisp.
Country Crisp.
Chocolate Country Crisp. It's like oat clusters.
Right.
I'm actually embarrassed.
Where does one purchase?
In any supermarket, Tesco.
Well, how's it posh then?
Well, because it's not like a Rice Krispie.
Ah, right. All right, so
I'm meaning it's posh as in like, if you've got inflammatory bowel disease, usually you're getting the naff Rice Krispies or cornflakes, nothing with any sort of nutrient in it.
Right.
Whereas this one is oats, it's got chocolate in it, cat with a banana, it's delicious.
But more luxurious.
I don't even think it is posh now that I'm saying it.
We should have said
That's
it.
because you're like, what's that? I think I'm feeling judged.
Because people always don't know what it is. You don't know. You're maybe being a wee bit judged, sorry. I've done that.
You were judging my cereal choice.
Yeah, because I'd never heard of it. I just thought I needed to.
You'll recognise it. It's always in supermarkets. Country Crisp.
I try to stay out of supermarkets, and I'm definitely not down the cereal well. I just supermarkets are not my thing. I'm not big on them.
Do you make your wife do the food shopping?
I don't make my wife do anything. If you ever met my wife, she doesn't do anything that she doesn't want to do.
Good for her.
No, I go to the supermarket just to rather not.
Nobody likes going to the supermarket. I get it delivered.
What, do you?
Yeah, that's because of the bowel disease, so I can't be arsed.
Ah, right, that's fair enough.
That's how it started, and now.
To answer your question, I would be quite bored and I'd probably have cornflakes.
See, I'm embarrassed for you admitting that.
No, listen, I'm a man of simple pleasure.
Cornflakes? Do you put like sugar on it or that?
I have been known to put a bit of wee sprinkling of sugar on it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, each to their own. Each to their own. You and your posh cereal that's not really posh. Hey, anyway, back to you being a ma. IBD ma.
IBD ma. Sake.
Tell me this, your kids, if you don't mind me saying, 4 and 6, still quite young.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're aware of the differences? or that's just life for them?
I think it's just life for them, but I actually blame Vicky for this, and I'm cringing at myself for admitting this on here, but people tend to laugh when I say it.
Are we talking about Vicky Garrick?
I had says to her that the kids are a little bit young to sort of understand what's going on, and I wouldn't even know how to word it to them, and she was like, I would use the example of like just saying that your tummy's a little bit different to theirs. So I thought, right, I'll take on Big Vic's advice, I'll bring this up.
She'll be delighted, Big Vic. Okay, right, I'll take great joy in telling her that.
So I was right, one day they were moaning at me wanting to go somewhere. You're so bad for picking up things that I'm saying and making them worse.
Sorry.
So they had says, I thought, right, I'll take the advice, let's broach it. They're harassing me to go somewhere for the millionth time that day, even though we'd been out all morning. Yeah. And I said, Mammy's tummy's just a little bit different to yours. And my eldest one, clear as a bell, went, is that because you've got hairs on your tootie? And I thought, leave the bush out of this, like seriously. And I just didn't know where to take the conversation from there, because that's an entirely different subject. Why?
Yep, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, essentially that is. And then I have noticed though, like recently, one of them was asking me, it was actually a younger one, if I was going to the gym that day, and I had said, I'm not sure yet. And then the other one was like, do you go to the gym every day? And then I was like, yeah, not every day. And my youngest one, she's actually still 3, she'll be 4 soon. She went, but you can't go to the gym every day, Mummy. Like if your tummy's too sore, you don't go. And I thought, you do know. Right. You have noticed that something's up. But the only thing that I've said to them is that my tummy is just different to theirs, and they've taken it upon themselves to...
And come back to your mum for a wee second. What, since you've been diagnosed, if you don't mind me asking, has your relationship changed?
With my mum?
Yeah.
Not just because of that. I think my relationship with my mum has changed since I've become a mum. I think when you become a parent, you have profound respect for your own parents and realising what they went through and things like that. So yeah, I would say it's changed largely because I'm now a parent, and I understand that she is just doing life for the first time too. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like we're all quite critical. You might be different, obviously, because your mum's passed away, but we're quite critical of your parents.
I'm an orphan now.
You're an orphan.
No, I'm an orphan
boy.
now. Poor boy.
Is the dad gone too?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
That's tough. I think we are quite critical of our parents. My generation is anyway.
Yeah, I would agree with that. well, obviously my mum passed away when I was really young. But my mum was my hero because I seen what she went through and all that kind of stuff. So I never really had the point to be pissed off with her at any point.
Never?
Nah, never.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. My dad was different, but...
Right.
Because, and I don't think... and it's only later on in life when I've realised that my dad went through.
I was going to say, see, listening to your podcast, I can see from your parents' point of view, because I'm the parent, my dynamic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh no! Let's see, and it took me a long time, and my brother definitely as well. But when you sit back and reflect, you go, right. Well, here's my dad had lost the love of his life, the mother of his 2 kids, and he wasn't 40. And he's left.
Mad, that's so young.
You know, and he's left with about. I'm 16 at the time.
16,
Gary's 21. I mean, you're a certain age, and you've got a certain level of craziness about you, and he's left with us. So there's all this testosterone kicking about the house, and nobody knows how to deal with death. Who does know how to deal with death? And everybody's trying to do their best, and nobody talks to each other about it.
That element of trauma in that.
A massive amount of trauma. Oh, no, and listen, I went to therapy for it eventually, and I'm a big fan of therapy. I think it's a wonderful thing. Everybody should have a therapist at some point.
Everybody needs a therapist, and anybody who says they don't need it most.
There's an argument for that. So my respect for what my dad went through, and you know, I mean, we didn't come from a privileged background in any way, shape or form. We were working class and got family of grafters, and worked hard for whatever that we had, but to see that and reflect on that and what he'd gone through, you know, you're like, fuck, you know, that's pretty big. It
is big, and it's like there would have been so many discussions and whatever else that you'll be none the wiser of that they would have had in private. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Or conversations that maybe weren't had. That's probably a more accurate way of putting it. Like the strain that it puts on a relationship in general, I think is really tough. But when there's kids involved, it's like, because there's so many conversations that need to be had in general, being in a relationship with somebody, but having kids on top, it's like things get lost that maybe shouldn't have been ignored and things like that. I just think it's really, really tough. No. And that's, I think, what's hard to see, knowing how many children now are being diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, and the parents. I think, like I had all the stress that they're having of knowing what to feed your kids and that anyway, but when they've got inflammatory bowel disease on top of that, like at that family day, you could see parents like looking at each other like nodding at certain things that experts were saying and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, I know what you're going through.
So how was your family day experience?
Do you know what? It was absolutely
I've not spoke to you about it.
Amazing. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was really nice because I met a couple of the girls that I've met through my Instagram page. They came along and we had a really nice day. Yeah. Bringing more people to your charity day.
But our charity, no, it's not mine. A bit of a social event, was it?
It was a day out for me.
Was it?
It was.
So what was good about it?
What's good about it is meeting other people. Like you said about how there's a sort of feeling in the air, like when you're with people. And my friend Charlie, the one I not mentioned, had mentioned this before. Like every time she meets somebody that's got inflammatory bowel disease, it heals a little bit of her. And I always thought she was a bit of a loser for saying it. I did. I thought, it can't be that. Can't be that healing. But do you know what it is?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a lovely turn of phrase Charlie's got, to be honest with you.
No, it is.
I do. Because I think I batter on about this all the time, that the services and the support that we provide, every one of them is essential. And that as they grow, they'll be essential. But see, getting the people together, it's incredible because there's a real magic and a real energy. And a healing. I quite like that.
It is healing because it's like, even like the kids and that, like I'm laughing, one of the wee boys that I said when I came in, he obviously had, I think it was Crohn's he had. I said, how you doing, pet? You all right? Because I don't know how to speak to you. He's like, I wish everybody just stop asking me that. And I was like, I know how you feel. Like I shouldn't have even asked. Do you know
that was one of the things that I heard the parents talking about. We had one in Glasgow for under 13s last Saturday. Yeah, Saturday just passed, and it was one of the parents were talking about their kids maybe a wee bit older than that, about 16 or something. going to stop asking me how I am.
Oh, they don't want it.
I just want to go on with it.
But the mums, they like to speak. Like, I think one of the girls that I speak to on Instagram, her son's got it, and she was saying that she likes speaking to me because she knows she can say anything to me, and I'm not going to judge, A, because I'm a parent and I know how hard that is, and B, because I have what he's got. She's like, I feel like I can speak to you and you understand.
But yeah, 100%.
She's like, we're living the same life but on different ends.
There's a magic happens between the shared experience, but that shared experience is not just necessarily the person living with the condition. The shared experience also comes when you get the parents together, or if you get siblings, or if you get husbands or wives that are supporting that as well, because that dynamic's different.
You forget that it affects them. It's actually something I struggled with as well. It's like, see, knowing that my family, immediate and sort of wider, struggle, knowing that I'm struggling, makes me feel a certain way. Like, I don't like knowing that people are worrying about me. I don't know why. It's a therapy thing.
I think it's a natural thing.
But it makes me really uncomfortable, to the point where I just won't tell people that I'm struggling because I don't want them to worry about me. Like, I get paranoid that people are speaking about me, even if it's from a place of concern. So then I just don't, which is bad, because then it causes issues.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you've given some tips. Cook once, eat twice.
That's for when you're fatigued. Cook once, eat twice.
Okay. Being honest with family and friends so they can support where needed. You just said you didn't do that.
I know, I do.
I'm catching you out.
You are catching me out. Anybody?
What was it? What did you say to me earlier? There's a level of hypocrisy here, Derek.
No, again, using my own words against it. That is, though, and I've learned that the hard way. You do need to have, with inflammatory bowel disease across the whole board, you need to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable, because everything is uncomfortable about it. The conversations that you need to have, the situations you find yourself in, situations.
Yes,
did that on purpose.
I know it's.
Did you pick up on that?
I did. Situations.
Situations that you end up in. Just everything about it. If you can get comfortable with the fact that it is going to be a bit uncomfortable, it can help. And I am saying I don't ask for help, but I also have got that level of awareness now that I am actually incredibly difficult to help when I am struggling, because I don't want to hear your advice. I don't want to take your support. So I find it easier if I'm going through a challenging time to just tell people, now, I am having a shit time, leave me alone for a couple of months or whatever until I get out of it. I'll be back. And that seems to work well for me.
I think you need to do what works well for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That for some people, it might be the exact opposite.
Yeah, they need more support, whereas I just need, if I'm in pain or whatever, I just need left alone.
Condensing working hours into longer days but less days.
That worked for me, and that is partly with being a parent. So obviously, like childcare costs, situations, things like that. For me, it was easier to work 2 long days than it was to maybe spread it out over 4 days, because I do work part-time because of children and inflammatory bowel disease. So I find that worked for me. What else is on there?
You just you're trying to
control the narrative, did it?
Yeah, absolutely. Are failing. It's a discussion. Colouring in, nail painting, hairdresser games are a fatigue parent's best friend. Yeah,
so sitting still, particularly when they're younger, because obviously my experience has been more when they were smaller, but like, I remember I was so tired one day, I literally just got on the floor with them, lay down and was like, let's play a game where mummy's asleep and you guys do the hair. But that doesn't always work. Like, my eldest, she's like me, she's annoying, to be honest. Like, she wants to be out and about all the time, and this is what's most annoying about me. Like, I am the sort of person that likes to be busy all of the time.
Yeah.
So when I can't be, if I'm, not well or whatever, I find my mind, like, it goes into overdrive.
Yeah.
So finding ways to keep yourself busy, like, while you're fatigued, is really important, whether it's with your children or on your own.
Yeah, that full thing about being active while being fatigued is a real topic that I keep hearing just now.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's an interesting one. Rigid routines are the only way that I can get through. Bedtime is 7 p.m, no later, because I often go to bed at the same time as they do. That
is a huge one for me. I do go to bed when the kids go to bed, because sometimes I'm not always, like, I like going to my bed early. I think I would be like that regardless of having inflammatory bowel disease, but it's the only way to get through. If you're feeling like a bit tired, or if you're really unwell, there isn't another option. You need to go to your bed. Anybody who's got that disease at a level will just understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, as they get older, encouraging independence and sleepovers at nanny and aunties.
Yes, it's brilliant. That's where they are right now.
I think every parent wants rid of them.
Oh, they do. And nobody's honest about it.
Buddy up with decent friends so you can all support each other.
Honestly, I could not be without my friends. See, my friends, they're the most amazing, supportive girls I've ever met. And they're girls that I've met recently, like when I've moved back to where I live. How long have I lived there now? 3-4 years. They're girls that I've picked up in that 4 years. Obviously, I've got my longer term friends, but they don't have children yet. And these ones, honestly, they would do anything for me. And it's so good. They're amazing.
I like this. I like them all, but I like this one. Choose your child's school. Tell your child's school or nursery about your condition.
That's really important.
Yeah,
really important, because obviously it's not actually happened to me yet, touch wood. But see if you're late or whatever to pick them up because you're glued to your toilet, because that does happen, or you've shit yourself on the way.
Yeah.
Do you know as well? I've not written it on there, but see, like family support to walk the dog. Like if a lot of families have a pet.
Yeah.
If I didn't have my brother, like during my really bad flare up, my dog would never have been walked, and that would have just caused a whole other array of issues. Do you know what I mean? Having support for things like that, and I wish I had hired a cleaner. I really regret not doing that. Looking back, I should have had a cleaner help me with the housework.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it all anyway. Like anybody can't juggle it all. But see, when you're dealing with symptoms and stuff, it's like help yourself where you can.
Yeah.
Because it's just not worth there's no prizes for doing it all.
None.
And I've really recognised that. Like you can do whatever you want and you can try and do it all, but there's no prizes.
No, nobody's.
So make your life easier.
Yeah, nobody's giving you a medal. I think that's brilliant advice. You know, kind of to help
take the pressure
manage it. Aye, because
I would have felt judged for doing that. So even asked, like this is said, but like my sister used to come in and be like, "Oh, I'll do your dishes for you," whatever, and I'd be annoyed at her for wanting to help me. I don't know what that is about. Like why? It's like I don't like taking help, and now I'm like, why were you doing that? I felt judged, I think. Not that she was judging, but
I think I can understand why you would feel judged, but there's a wee bit of ego in there as well.
That's what I mean, but people do. People do have pride and they do have an ego. People don't want to let go of that, but you need to.
So that maybe touches a little bit on this. Ulcerative colitis, no cure, no control, but you always have a choice.
That one is important because I think I've said there like quotes of people saying things to me like, "Oh, you're so strong," or "I wish I was more like you," blah blah blah, like things like that. And it's like realising that I wish I was more like me too. Like I've not naturally been this person. I've hit a point where I've realised I actually can't do it all. I should have had the cleaner. I should have had somebody like a paid dog walker. Yeah. I should have had more support in place or accepted more support. Yeah. I should have reached out to the therapy sooner or stuck to it longer than what I should have. It's only when you hit a point where you realise that, well, this actually isn't working. Yeah. Doing it all doesn't work. Nobody's serving from you trying to do it all.
No, it's like your journey's difficult enough without making it more difficult. So nobody's coming at you. We're not winning an award.
No, we're all going to the same place. And I think what really hit home for me with that is I found myself always being that person that would encourage everybody else to follow their dreams. Or like if I spoke to older women in their work or whatever, like my work or whatever, that were moaning about their husbands, and I'd be like, "What are you doing with him then? Like, why are you still with him if you really feel that way about him?" Or somebody that's moaning about their diabetes because it's not under control and there's ways that they can control it, I'd be like, well, you need to take control of what you can control and do what you can do, because you're telling me what you can do, but you're telling me all the ways that you can't do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like that sort of advice, and it's like you're telling me what you know you need to do, but you're just wanting me to say to do it. And it's like only when I started thinking, you're sitting here preaching to everybody else what to do, why are you not doing that in your own life?
Well,
Derek, I've done it. This is what's worse.
My most important lesson. Do you remember it?
No.
Oh my God.
You put me on the spot.
I know. Good.
Start it off, I'll finish.
Okay. No, okay. The more you try to control something.
The more you try and control something, the more it controls you. 100% stand by that. It's like all your energy is going in to try to fix something. And actually, if you look in other directions, that fixes it for you.
Yeah. I think there's a gazillion bits of brilliant wee gems in there for people. Do you know that?
And it hits home for people too. Like, the majority of those posts, if you look at the comments and stuff, people are like, everything that you've just said there is how I feel or whatever.
But that's why your page, and there's others not like it, but you know, doing
there's
really,
loads of people
doing really positive advocacy, sensible advocacy. I would say as well. That's not preachy.
Sometimes I worry it comes across as preachy.
Well, in my opinion, it doesn't. Listen, you can't control how somebody perceives it at the end of the day. If it's, you know, the bottom line is, that's uncontrollable. There'll be people that don't like you, but who cares?
I struggle with that. I don't like them. Don't like me. I'm better with that now, though. Because half these people do it. I'm sorry.
Do you get trolls? Do you get trolls?
Not yet.
Do you know?
Well, the page isn't big enough for that.
Really? I know loads of people that get trolls.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, but half these people don't even like themselves. And see, when you realise that, it's like...
Exactly.
And you never get hate from people that are doing better than you.
Never.
So anybody that is saying anything, I think, oh, look in your own life.
Yeah. And it often is a reflection, because it's, you know, it's
do you ever catch yourself doing it?
What?
Like, not being a troll, obviously you're not sitting trolling me, but I'd hope not anyway.
I might start.
Oh, here we go, I'll be getting a cheeky message later, eh?
Because you've never had one, I feel as if I should be the first.
First troll.
What a lot of shit you're talking there. You have no right to say that.
Now, I've had a few of them, but I wouldn't have called them a troll.
It's trolling.
Half the people don't even like themselves, though. But have you ever found yourself acting like a troll? Not necessarily on your keyboard, but do you ever catch yourself doing something where you think, this is actually a me thing, not them? Be honest.
No, I'm thinking that dull silence was me thinking. No, I don't think so.
Never.
I think I pass. See, even if I would want to say something to somebody, not in this space.
Not trolling. I mean, like, do you ever find yourself feeling bitter or resentful or whatever towards somebody or something, like whatever it is, and you think, like, with hindsight, maybe my opinion of that was because I was wanting to be doing something better?
Not really.
I feel like you're lying.
I think you want me to lie. I can't think of it. I'll tell you what I'm bitter and resentful towards just now.
Right.
At this very moment in my
Go on.
life, my football team. Because they're just putting me through so much heartache. So, anyway, we're moving on for that. We're moving on for that. But, no, do you know what? I think, like, I'm too old and just to be, I don't, whatever will be. You know, I mean, I can think of one situation in my life where, in days gone by, I would have dealt with it differently.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I'm just like, if that's the way that somebody wants to be or whatever, just let them.
Let them. There's
Honestly.
power in that.
There is power in that. You know, and it's like, I can't change it.
I think I'm only now learning that, though. Like, let people be who they want to be, and just
and do what they want. And if they gravitate into your life again or whatever the case is, then great. Then you can deal with it then. But you know, sometimes you just need to just let. But I mean, that is the phrase. Let them.
Let them.
You know, and if somebody's want to be a troll, if somebody's want to be shit to you, if somebody's or a situation, just go, fine.
What's been this laid back?
No.
What's your secret thing? Go on.
I don't have one. I think
A tip.
let them. Honestly,
You read Mel Robbins' book?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, she says that book. Let them.
Is that what it's
That's
called?
her phrase.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, but she's taken something really simple.
No, but I think, but there's a few books. But I don't know who that is. But I mean, just.
Let them.
I think my wee granny used to say, let them go on with it.
Let them go on with it.
Let them go on with it. You can't,
Somebody said to me recently, and it really has resonated with me, everything comes out in the wash.
I honestly believe that. I think I don't. You talk about the laws of attraction and stuff like that earlier on, and I get that. I don't know if I believe in it.
Yeah.
I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form.
No,
but
I'm not.
But if somebody is, good for them. If it's if it shines a light, if it makes your life better, patter on. That's fine. Patter on. And that's just that's just the way I am. I think you can attract your own. We often talk about finding your tribe, the people that bring joy. I said this
before I met you. It's written way back in there. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and I think that's so important.
Totally. I think what I agree with what you put out. You kind of get back. I think weirdly that you kind of certain scenarios will attract, and I think some people learn that, or some people have that, and that. I don't know. Maybe naturally,
yeah.
Maybe younger. It probably took me
I think I've been forced into learning it because my body doesn't cope well with stress. Like I had to get stressed over silly stuff, whereas now I'm like, you can't. Like it's not worth risking.
Oh no, but I think I'm big on. I'm never going to get stressed at what I can't control.
See, I'm the opposite. I let silly things get to me.
No way. I can only do so much.
Really?
Definitely. I wouldn't. I can't do it about it.
A laid back look.
I wouldn't call it laid back. It's just realistic.
It is realistic.
It's realistic. Right. I can't control what somebody else is going to do. I can't control the situation. I can do what I do, and that's it. And if that's it, and always try to be positive, always try to be helpful, and do you think
that comes with age, serious chat?
Well, it came with age for me because I wasn't. I mean, you called me laid back. Others might disagree with that, but I think it's just an attitude. It's like people get stressed out about what they can't control, and that my mind boggles at that.
Did you not ever feel like that, though? No?
I don't know when. Why would I get stressed out because of what somebody else has done?
I don't know. It's something that I've had to really work on.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a control thing, though, I think.
You think so? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not going to get to the bottom of that mystery, personally. No. Right. What we always do is finish up on a quick fire.
Right.
I don't know if there's a quick fire in the two of us, but we'll do our best. Three quick fire, 3 tips for living with IBD. I know you've given a million tips in this, but 3 big ones.
Make your life easier, take the easy route, advocate for yourself and your needs, try not to worry about what other people are thinking, and build a good relationship with your medical team.
That's 4.
How is it? Get lost.
I'm only kidding you on. What's the 3 things that piss you off?
People try to promote a cure.
Yeah.
People who maybe post for the wrong reasons in terms of advocacy, more about like self-validation rather than, helping other people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. People maybe not understanding what's going on, but then that's a them problem, not a me problem.
Yeah, see? That's a them problem.
That's a them problem.
3 things you would hope for the future in IBD.
A cure, obviously.
I would love to be at a job.
I know.
I would.
So would I.
Be great. Well, for me to be at a job.
What would we do? What would I do with all my time not posting nonsense?
But there you go.
A cure, obviously. I think it would be really good to see more people speak up about how it has actually impacted them and not just the sort of airy-fairy stuff. And like Katie's house, essentially, I think that would be really powerful to have lots of them. I think would be really good. Yeah.
What is the future for you?
You tell me, Derek.
Well, I'm asking the questions.
Future for me, I'm going to do big things.
Great.
That's my answer. TED Talks and all that.
TED Talk?
No, I would really like to be in a situation, actually, where I could go in and educate schools, as in like the teachers and stuff, about how it actually is impacting a human being. I think I would probably need more awareness around what was happening for children, because it's not a strong point for me. and I hope it never is. I hope none of my children ever get it.
So they are.
But yeah, that and sort of workplaces as well, like educating, even professionals. I'm sure they do have people, but like the doctors and stuff, patient advocates telling them how it actually is, like the textbook versus reality is often quite different. Yeah. So yeah, that sort of thing.
And just something. You obviously you've got your page, your Colitis with Catriona and stuff like that. If it wasn't Colitis with Catriona, what would you be posting about?
If I wasn't posting about colitis,
Aye.
nothing. I'd be getting on with my life like a normal human being, hopefully. My page is there because my page and my whole like ethos around my page is for somebody like me that was in a hospital bed years ago, looking for somebody to give me hope that I could have a bit of a life without surgery, because at that point that was my biggest fear. Yeah. So that's why I post, and I always say this, my posts aren't for other content creators. If you're creating content, if you get something from my post, that's amazing. It's not you that I'm trying to attract. I'm genuinely trying to attract people that are terrified for their life. Basically, that's who I'm trying to target, and it is hitting the right people. And I absolutely love it, because she's became a friend actually, Emily. She's like one of my first sort of girls that I would say has come under my wing, and she would say that herself. She found my page, and I remember asking her, I was like, how did you find my page? And she was like, I seen one of your posts, and she was like, I could see that you were just like a normal, nice, friendly girl from your page. And obviously she would use the word that I was like a mentor for her. But it's funny now, because we laugh. Students become the master. Now I'll go to Emily and say, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, but I think your personality does come out in your page, and I absolutely congratulate you on your page. It's great. It's great content. It's real.
It is real.
It's why we invited you onto Gutsy. But listen, that Catriona, honestly, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of what you do there, but I'm a big fan of you as a person. I think you're great. I think you're a fantastic role model for the community. I think you're brave. You've got quite the story. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks.
But thanks for coming on Gutsy. It's been brilliant.